Rain poured down like the sky was crying that night. A sleek black limo sat parked outside a small diner on a quiet street in New York. Inside, Ethan Cole, one of the city's youngest billionaires and CEO of a global tech empire, sat in silence. He was staring blankly at the reflection of raindrops racing down the glass. He had everything money could buy: power, fame, success, but none of it filled the loneliness echoing in his heart. His wife had passed away 3 years ago, and since then, Ethan lived like a ghost, surrounded by luxury but haunted by emptiness. As he loosened his tie and sighed, a soft knock tapped on his car window. Ethan turned. A little girl, no older than 6, stood there, soaked to the bone, clutching a worn-out teddy bear. Her big brown eyes stared right at him, trembling, not from fear, but from cold. Ethan rolled down the window halfway. "Are you lost, sweetheart?" he asked gently. The girl hesitated, then whispered, "Mister, you look sad." He blinked, caught off guard. "Sad?" She nodded. "My mommy says people who sit alone in cars that big are always lonely." Ethan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Is that so? And what about you? Where's your mommy?" The little girl's voice cracked. "She's gone. She went to heaven last week." Ethan's chest tightened. He froze, realizing the trembling child wasn't just lost, she was broken, just like him. After a pause, she said something that shattered his composure completely. She leaned closer and whispered through the open window, "You need a wife, and I need a dad." Ethan's throat closed up. For a man used to negotiating billion-dollar deals, he suddenly couldn't form a single word. "Where do you live?" he finally managed to ask. The girl pointed down the street to an old, dimly lit shelter. "But they said they don't have room anymore." Ethan opened the car door and stepped out into the rain. Without thinking, he took off his jacket and wrapped it around her small shoulders. "Come on," he said softly. "Let's get you somewhere warm." That night, Ethan brought her to his penthouse, a place filled with cold marble, tall windows, and silence. But when she entered, something changed. She ran around with innocent wonder, touching everything like it was magic. When Ethan gave her a cup of hot cocoa, she smiled and said, "It's just like my mommy used to make." He smiled faintly. "What's your name, little one?" "Lily." "Lily," he repeated, as if saying her name healed something inside him. Days passed. Social workers came, questions were asked, but Ethan didn't let her go. He arranged everything legally, fighting every obstacle, because for the first time in years, he felt alive again. One evening, Lily came running to him, holding a picture she drew, a stick-figure family, her, Ethan, and a woman with a kind smile. "Who's that?" Ethan asked, pretending not to know. She giggled. "That's your new wife. You said people need families to be happy." He smiled, realizing the depth of her innocence. But the truth was, Lily was the one who'd already become his family. A few months later, Ethan met Grace, a volunteer at the same orphanage Lily came from. She had a heart as kind as her smile, and Lily instantly adored her. Fate, it seemed, was finally stitching together what life had torn apart. One night, as they tucked Lily into bed, she whispered, "I told you, Mr. Ethan, you needed a wife, and I needed a dad. See? I fixed it." Ethan laughed through tears. "Yes, you did, sweetheart. You really did." A year later, at their small backyard wedding, Lily held both their hands and said proudly, "Now we're a real family." Ethan looked at Grace, then at Lily, the little girl who had walked into his life on a rainy night and taught him how to live again. Sometimes angels don't come from heaven. Sometimes they just knock on your car window, in the rain.